All right, make a quick update video of what I'm working on right now. This is a mess, but it's only gonna get worse. This is an Arduino, a fake Arduino Mega. It's a Sunfounder Mega Arduino copy that you can get off Amazon. It came with a bunch of kit and resistors. It was much cheaper to get all that stuff because I needed a bunch of resistors and all of these jumper cables and LCD screen to test. But this is what I got so far. This is what's going to be running my gauges, other than the RPM and speedo gauge in my Corvette. And I'll give you a quick little idea. There's going to be about 4 or 5 of these gauges in this cluster. Let's kick off here. The boot time on this is so much better than running like a Raspberry Pi, which is what I wanted. So this is what I got here on the start is using this. Matt Happel sent this to me, Mr. Sloopy himself, this Dollar Motorsports combo sensor. It is a pressure and temperature sensor in one. It's just got your 1/8 MPT, and then you can get a fitting to go like in the back of the block. That's what I have. He sent me that too as well. And then the pressure is 0 to 5 volts. It's actually 0.5 to 4.5 volts, and I did the math to do that. And then the temperature is resistance value. So what I had to do is get a pull-up resistor. Don't mind this awesome resistor bridge that I made. I need to get 140 ohm resistor one. There's 100 and 410s there that make the 140, but that is in about the sweet spot of about 220 or 230 degrees, somewhere around there, which is where the oil is probably gonna run. I don't really need the oil temperature, but it did come in the car when I bought it. Actually, the gauges that come in this cluster actually have the oil temp, and then of course it was included with this. It would be nice to, see it just to verify that the oil's, cool enough, kind of cool to see, but it does have the pressure with it. And the pressure does work. I can actually take this, I'll blow on it here, and I can make a whole 3 PSI just blowing on it. So that does work. And what I'm going to do is continue to keep doing this and adding. I actually have 15 analog ports into this thing, so I have quite a bit to work with. And then the breadboard, I'll document everything. And then what I'll do is once everything is up and working, I have 4 more of these LCDs coming. And they have the I2C connection on them to simplify a lot of these wires, because it's only a 4-wire setup instead of what I got here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's insane. And to make it a lot cleaner too. And then I can put these gauges in this cluster. And what my plan is to do something like this, where it's in the car. I'll make it like ABC plastic, and I'll run a bunch of these. Put this like in the corner. I'll have like another one like up here, and then I'll have my RPM speedometer. It's hard to see, RPM speedometer, and then maybe another one in the center like the Corvettes have, where they actually have an LCD in the center. That'll be like fuel gauge and fuel pressure, and then the other side will have the same thing. Just come up through here, and it'll have like your water temp, voltage, all that stuff. And I would like to actually be able to integrate boost. It won't be that hard. I'm actually going to just use like a 3-bar, because I have a 2-bar setup, a 2-bar map in there. And what I might do is just run like a 2-bar map or a 3-bar map, and those are all 5 volt, and I can program that into the Arduino board and do that. And then AFR might be something difficult. I might actually have to go to like an AFR controller to the Arduino. And there's a place that does that, Speeduino. Those guys have, a couple of those companies have, I think actually, who's his name? I think it's Twisted Builds, I think has an AFR controller. So I could actually probably get something like that and then tie into this, which would be great. It'd be nice to have a bunch of these, and these will all be hidden because I'm going to make the bezel, and you'll just be able to see this. And then what I'll do is I'll also build it into the dimmer. So when I obviously turn the headlights on, you turn the dimmer on, these will also dim down as well, which is nice because these are kind of bright, but I mean, you can really read these things. And I have these set up to refresh every half a second, but you can turn them down a lot lower. Obviously, the lower you go, the more processing it takes. So I'm super cool with just having like a half a second, but this is all new stuff to me. This is literally my 3rd day of working on anything Arduino. I bought an Arduino Uno a couple years ago and never touched it. And I always had plans of using it. And I actually did touch it. I basically went on Stack Exchange and explained something I wanted to do with like a 4L60 gear indication, basically where you'd use an Arduino and then tie into the, what's that box that sits inside the transmission that tells you what like your gear, what gear you're actually in. It's for like the console shifter cars. And what's nice about that is a lot of that stuff is all, they'll actually have like 3 or 4 wires, and within those wire groups, 1 of them or 2 of them or 3 of them or all of them will be positively charged. And doing that, you could actually build a code to actually display a light. So if you wanted to put like LEDs in your shifter and actually have the transmission tell you what gauge you're in, that was the original plan of having an Arduino Uno. Never did anything with it, just a thought, but actually working with one. This is the first one I've actually, pinned in and all that stuff. And it's actually pretty cool. You go on the internet, you can learn a lot of this stuff. So I'm really intrigued with this stuff, and I'm gonna continue to keep going. The next thing to do is get these other LCD screens in, and then get, I need to order a couple of those resistors, or just 1 or 2 of those 140 ohm. And then also the field gauge is 0 to 90 ohms. So I'm gonna I actually have a spreadsheet. I'll pull it up here on the computer. I had a buddy of this at work make this, which is kind of nice. So you actually have this pull-up resistor information, and you can pretty much, this stuff right here is completely irrelevant. You just put that in for your own benefit, and then you go through here and you can do your resistance rating, put what resistor you'd like to put in, and you can kind of play with this and say, hey, if I put this resistor and this resistor in, here's your values. And then you can go through, you can get your scaling done through this way, and then from there, you can pretty much just pin it on the board and test it. And I mean, it works right now, and the sensor works really good because I think my house temp is like 72, and I actually have air blowing over here, so it's about right on. I think it's within like 2 or 3 degrees, which is totally fine for oil temp, and then the pressure is pretty much spot on. So I do need to get like a low res regulator to really confirm that, but I like where this is going. This should be a great option to do the gauges in the car and it be nice and clean and display everything I want to display, and not cost me like $800 for a full-on kit, and a kit that doesn't even do like boost and AFR and everything else. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to continue to keep working on this. I'll probably make another update with this. The car is just kind of on standby right now. I got to do a couple things there to keep going on that. So this is kind of what's keeping me going. So that's the update. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys later.